everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And if you want to know how sick the world is, all you have to do, and I do not recommend you do this, all you have to do is put on ABC around 11 a.m. and put on a show called The View, or as I like to call it, cancer television. This is, without a doubt, the sickest, most demonic show that is probably one of the sickest, most demonic shows that has ever been put on television. This is a disaster for 60 minutes. You have these women on there, Black, Hispanic, white, Jewish, whatever. They have the whole rigmarole is on there. And it seems that they try to out-retard each other for about 60 minutes. And sometimes it's incredible that they can just do that. The one thing that puzzles me about this show is, how do they still get guests on? Especially conservative, Republican, libertarian guests. How do you go on this show knowing that you're going to be in hell? Because that's what women do. They try to bring you down to their reason level, and I'm being facetious when I say that, because women don't have reason. And they try to bring you to hell because that's where women feel most comfortable. They love being in hell because women have hell within them. They are the daughters of Satan. Now, this is Cheryl Hines. She's an actress. I don't know why she went on this show, but she's the wife of Robert Kennedy Jr., who is the health secretary. And of course, being that he's with Trump, he's got to be evil. This discussion was all about vaccines and COVID. And let me tell you, when I was growing up, I got maybe 1 or 2 shots when I was a kid. I think it was really 1. I think I got the polio shot. It was in the early to mid 70s. 1 shot. Maybe something for influenza. Maybe. I don't know. Today, it's like there's 24 shots that you have to go for. And today, they're showing proof, evidence and proof, more and more every day, that the more vaccines you have, that these kids are becoming dumber. They're suffering from autism. They're suffering from all of these disabling abilities. And I see it because I work in a school with special needs kids. The population is going up and up and up. It's got to be something within either the food that they're eating or the food that the mothers are eating, because the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Stop. Or it's these vaccines, or it's a combination of both. But of course, if you talk against vaccines at all, you're a fascist, you're a communist, you're sick, you're this, you're that. We can't have the discussion about this. That's what Democrat, liberal, progressives are like. They're communists. They're demonic. They don't want anything to change that goes against their norm. And the problem is that they're not normal. There's nothing norm about them. So the View co-host, Sunny Hostin, tore into Cheryl Hines today, slamming RFK Jr., her husband, as, and I quote, least qualified health secretary in history. This woman, this bitch, Sunny Hostin, has some nerve. Let me tell you something. Any Black women should not have the term least qualified and use it against anybody, because it has been proven. Look at the world today, that Black women being put in these positions of power, and they are put there. They didn't earn it. They're put there, receiving all these bullshit degrees, all these bullshit law degrees, all these bullshit sociology degrees. They do nothing but destroy. They do nothing but destroy. It's beyond incompetent. It's not even incompetence. It's basically at the level of they couldn't be a dog catcher. And for this bitch to say that somebody is least qualified, who the fuck are you? Who are you to even suggest that? Tell me who would be more qualified. But of course, Sunny doesn't do that because she can only say what's written for her because, of course, the View is scripted by other people. These bitches out here, they make stuff up in their head as they go along because they can't think for themselves. Now, Hostin, of course, is the left-leaning legal analyst, which is laughable. And she blasted Hines' husband over his recent claims linking autism to Tylenol use and circumcisions. Now, I don't know how circumcisions gets involved in that. I know that there was a herpes outbreak in the early 2000s in a certain part of New York where those people with the funny hats live, and that's because they were circumcising boys, and they were using their mouths to stop the bleeding. And that is, if that's not sick, if that's God's chosen people, then I want out. Then I'll go to the store down the street. Here is Hostin and Hines going at it. This is about 51 seconds. Let's see if we can bear it.
Your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history. I think that's a very dangerous.
Why is he less qualified than an economist?
I think that he possible? Is less qualified.
He has spent his career studying.
Do you hear the clapping in the background, the cackles of these stupid hens that are back there? And there's a reason why women were called chickens, by the way. Chicks, chickens, hens. There's a reason why. Because chickens and hens are stupid. And women have always been stupid. It's not their fault. They're the lesser species. That's okay. They're here to bring our babies into the world, please us, and give us peace in the home. That's all. And when they're put in positions like this, they suffer. They just can't handle it. Now, of course, Sunny Hostin used the term "I believe." She has no evidence to this. If you said that Barack Obama was the least qualified president of all time, which he was, you'd be called racist. You'd be called, all the things that they would call people. But this bitch can come out and just say, "Oh, he's not qualified." Well, give me some evidence, dumbass. Aren't you a lawyer?
Studying people's health, fighting for one guy who was using Roundup for his job.
He has also spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's.
Once again, she's not giving us any examples. Where's the misinformation? Where's the lies? Where's the chaos? Where is it? I mean, this whole Tylenol thing, this is what the media does. When it's a slow media week, they pick on something that sounds a little goofy, and they go for it. All of these medicines that are mass-produced have chemicals that can harm you. Every single one. Now, Tylenol, I don't know if Tylenol is really this bad. I haven't read up on it, and I don't care because I don't use medicines. If I get sick, I just wait it out. But again, she's making these claims. She's making these claims with no basis of reality. And of course, she's a woman and a black woman, and she has no reality. She lives in.
It's just a very dangerous thing. I say it with the utmost respect.
Some of it's good, and some of it's not. That's the point.
And when you say misinformation, disinformation, we could go back to COVID when
he's connecting circumcision to autism.
May I finish?
That's a little weird to connect circumcision to autism. That is a little wacky, but The Tylenol thing? We don't know. It's very possible. Now we got this other putana over here. Her name is Alyssa Farah. She's also on The View. Now, I think she's supposed to represent the conservative side. I think. I'm not sure. I don't watch The View. But I'm not home during the day because I'm out, working to pay my taxes. So single white women with black children can have their food stamps. But anyway, she made a claim in January that if Trump was able to get some of these hostages from the Palestinians or from Hamas, that she would wear a MAGA hat. Now, of course, we're hearing that Trump did get these hostages out, or some of them, or maybe just the dead ones, but who cares? Let's see what Farah had to say back in, or Alyssa, whatever her name is. Look at that mouth on her. Huh? That's, honey, that's what we want you to do. That's the position we want to see you in. See, that's perfect right there. Perfection. She's a pretty girl. Nice hair, nice mouth, the lips. It's when she talks is when she fucks everything up. Here she is making a promise to Donald Trump, and that is a promise right there.
My point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic, it's not changing a tune. It's not making every single thing a 5-alarm fire. Yeah. If he does good, if he gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on the show and say, thank you for doing it. Yeah. She'll knock it right off my head. But like you have to be able to cheer for wins when they happen and then call out relentlessly the wrongdoing. Well,
all right, so let's see if Farah kept her promise, because I don't think she did. I really don't believe she did. Let's see. This is a picture of today. Let's see. Let's get it over here. And just like most women, anytime a woman says something, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because women never tell the truth. They can't. They're sick. That's Farah today. No MAGA hat, you dumb lying bitch. What happened? Where's the accountability? Where's the, where's the happiness that the little Jews were found? I guess it didn't mean nothing to you, Farah. I guess it didn't mean shit to you. Somebody should have reminded her today that she owed Donald Trump his MAGA hat. Nobody will, because ABC is a sick company led by another sick company named Disney. Now, here's what we have. Oops. Now we have old Joy Behar, who talks to Cheryl Hines about vaccines again, because they're caught up on this thing. And you gotta wonder what's on the agenda for these women. Are they getting paid by these pharma companies? Are they making any sort of money? Well, their advertising is all pharma. But Joy didn't like what Cheryl Hines had to say when confronted on this issue, and here we go.
When you say that they are pro-vaccine, it seems as though Bobby and Trump are casting doubt on the efficacy of the vaccine.
I like how she refers to Robert Kennedy as Bobby, as if she knows him, as if they're friends. I mean, look at that face. Who the fuck could wake up to Joy Behar every morning? I don't care how much money she makes. You know what? That might be the thing. But she'd have to put me on a big allowance. I don't know if I could look at that every day or hear that voice. And let me tell you, she's an Italian American just like me. I think she's from Brooklyn. I'm from the Bronx. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. She's just, and she's vapid too. She thinks what she says has meaning. She thinks that we should be listening to her. And anybody who watches The View, anybody who goes to this show in the audience must be mentally disturbed, or maybe they're a psychiatry. Maybe they're going to medical school for psychiatry and they're trying to learn what mental illness looks like. Or maybe they're a cancer doctor and you're trying to see what cancer looks like. These people are sick, though. These are the daughters of Satan. Satan's their daddy. And they need help. Their help is they need real men in their lives to shut them down. This show must be canceled.
Which makes Americans very nervous. So that's the problem that we're having.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. I understand that. And it's interesting because I don't know if you saw 60 Minutes just did a piece about the vaccine injury compensation program.
Yeah.
So people that have had vaccine injuries can be compensated if they can prove it. And they have paid out $5.4 billion for vaccine injuries. So my question is, can we do better? Is that all vaccines or just the COVID vaccine? It's all vaccines. It's all vaccines. As far as I know. As far as I know.
Now, the COVID vaccines, if you took the COVID vaccine, there was a stipulation that you could not sue them, if you remember, that you could not sue them if you were injured in any way, or if you had any sort of, any sort of injury to them, which is funny to me. I mean, you're putting out a medicine out there that millions, billions of people are going to take. You're forcing kids who are going to school, you're forcing people back to work to take this fucking vaccine. But the side effects, you can't, if there are any, you can't sue for. And if you get injured from it, you can't sue for. We are going to see maybe the next 10 years, an immense rise, an incredible rise in cancer rates because of this vaccine stuff. Maybe that was the whole plan to start with. Now, I almost lost my job because I refused the vaccine. There was no way I was going to get that. There's just no way. I know people who have taken multiple vaxes, booster shots, all this stuff. And I was saying, why? And the thing is, I've never gotten COVID. Never. The people who have gotten their vaccines or the boosters and all that shit, they've gotten COVID 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, how is that possible? If this vaccine is supposed to work, how are you still getting this COVID stuff? And not just once, but 4, 5, 6 times. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But so the question is, yes to vaccines. Yes, they are important, and they are an important part of our healthcare. Mm-hmm. Can we do better? Can we make them safer? Mm-hmm. Can we make them, can we listen to parents who say, my child got the vaccine and changed and stopped hitting markers, stopped developing the way they were developing? Can we listen to people when they say that instead of saying, you're crazy?
I agree with that, but you want to listen to scientists. When you say
you want to listen to the scientists, that's what she says. You know, what happened to the good old days of listening to the parents? The scientists are wrong. They're bought and paid for. They're no better than drug addicts or drug dealers, I should say. And to put chemicals into young babies' bodies at a rate that we're doing today is obscene. And I don't believe any other country is doing this. Let me see. What's the vaccine? How many vaccines do they take in Italy, let's say? How many? I'm doing this off the cuff here. Let's see, 3 months old. Let's see. I mean, they take 3 vaccines. At 3 months old, they take a dose of hexavaltin, which is for hepatitis B. They take another one for a bacterium, and then they take another one for meningococcal B vaccine. And then they take another one every the next 5 months later. It just seems like every Western nation's believing in this vaccine shit. I don't get it. And again, I didn't have it. I don't believe I had more than 1 or 2. I mean, the big one was always polio. But this vaccine stuff seems to be out of control, and it's being pushed by these crazy liberal women on television. And it's by this cancer called The View. And if you watch The View, and if you listen to The View, and if you believe what The View is saying, you can go to hell with them. Because they're old, stupid boomer bitches on there who don't know their ass from their elbow. And enough's enough. People believe what they say because people believe whatever they see on TV. You know, in advertising 101, there's something called frame. You know, you keep people in the frame. That means that they control how a conversation goes, and they control how they can manipulate your thinking. Well, television's a frame. It's in a square box. And you can't allow that to control you. You can't let Satan into your home, especially when it's these retards that are trying to push these bullshit liberal agendas that just destroy your families and your children and your communities and your country. You just can't allow it anymore. But white men just have to stand up. It's gotten to the point where it's getting ridiculous now. It's getting pathetic. And I'm over it. I mean, I would do it, but I'm just far too busy. All right. There's my 2 cents. Thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. And remember, my friends, we just saw a great example of Satan in being busy on TV over and over and over again. Be a man, have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And just remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.